Welcome back, my friends, to TFT Hyperroll with Autarch. And before we get into this video, link up above to the state of Hyperroll. I'm just talking about that this week, but it's a pretty cool video if you haven't seen it yet. But let's get into this video, because this one was just a fun game to play, and love when I can get a game like this where I can do something a little bit different than I do in all the other matches. So first we're going to see what augment gets picked, and of course it's going to be radiant items since more people are on there. It just doesn't always work out that way. Somehow whenever it's 7 versus 1, the one gets chosen. And we are going to jump ahead to the first augment, which is Prismatic, and it is what's really going to set the scene for the entire match. I saw Twin Terror and said, you know, there's a lot of fun things we can do with Twin Terror since they changed it. It doesn't just have to be emo. But since I already had a 2-star Annie, I decided it might be a good idea to see if I can find an Emo Annie. Now in my head, my plan at this moment is to find a headliner Annie, and then I'll be 1 Annie away from the 3-star. Then I can put twin Annies in the back and just decimate people with that combination. The problem is that the game is just not complying, as it refuses to give me a headliner Annie. So I have Annie and I have my super fans, but not a headliner to go with it. Item-wise, we're going to go ahead and stick with the concept that we might be able to get an Annie, pick up the needlessly large rod, or if nothing else, we're going some form of AP champion in this match. The problem is that my chances of rolling a 1-cost headliner are very, very quickly disappearing as the game moves into stage 5, so I'm going to have to think of something else. For the second augment, it's an easy choice for me to go with Team Builder, because I know whatever I'm going to get, I need to get it to 3 stars. At this point, I'm now going to abandon Annie entirely, completely throw this next fight, and hope that in stage 6, I'll be able to pick up a decent headliner that I can get to 3 stars that can also use a Spear of Shojin. I have Superfan, so they're gonna get a decent item from that anyway. When the game offered me a Seraphine as a headliner, I could not resist. She gets a Rabaddon's Deathcap, and the Spear of Shojin will work beautifully on her. However, we did not find that second Seraphine until the match had locked, so we're taking no advantage of Twin Terror at this point, so this particular round is basically just a giveaway. Item-wise, I'm thinking about taking the duplicator, but I shouldn't need it because I have another one coming, and Seraphine should be fairly easy to pick up, so we can grab the tier and then get Seraphine in the match, so we're actually taking advantage of our Prismatic augment. One of the nice things with Seraphine is she's going to both do damage and heal the rest of the team, so you'll see every time one of them casts, there's a little bit of healing. It's going to allow the team to hold up longer and will make this augment really effective. It is now time for our radiant item, and I'm a little torn. Do I want to turn this comp into just really a one-trick comp? Ultimately, the answer is yes. We're going to grab the Earth Angel Staff and put it on our second Seraphine, which of course we hope to get up to a gold 3-star Seraphine, so we'll have a second 2-star. It is time for our final augment, and none of these really work, but healing orbs will be perfect because we're going to be getting healing on top of healing on top of healing. We now also got the makings of a blue buff that we can put on Seraphine number 2, and then go ahead and use Nico as our main tank and give her a Warmox. And dual Seraphines with that much mana and that much power are going to be having a huge impact. You can see they are casting, doing a lot of damage, and keeping everyone else up until it gets down to just Seraphine and Garen, and we're going to kick it into super hyper speed because this would have lasted forever but for them going into overtime, allowing Seraphine to take over. And we are down to our final item component of the match, and the plan is to put an AD threat out there. So we're going to go ahead, put the Bloodthirster onto a Kali as well as a Last Whisperer, so she is shredding armor and having enough to keep herself healed, along with the Seraphine healing as well. This team is now designed to just stay up as long as possible with a ton of healing on it. Seraphine is healing every time she casts. Whenever they get a takedown, they're getting some burst healing. Akali has the Bloodthirster. So the odds are we are going to be able to outlast almost any other team, and you can see against another Akali team, we take them out. But the question remains, can you ever have too much healing? Well, how about a Hextech Gunblade for the second Seraphine? We're still one Seraphine away, and things are about to get a little wacky in here because we get the additional Seraphine. We bring her up to the gold 3-star. All 3 items end up going on that Seraphine. One problem though, she's supposed to be getting the Superfan item. Luckily, we have a magnetic remover, so we can go ahead and take those off of her, then put additional items back onto her and load up the second Seraphine as well. We make sure that the headline Seraphine gets the Earth Angel Staff and the blue buff, which are slightly better than the Archangel Staff and Spear of Shojin, but you can see how much casting is going on, how much healing, and how much damage, allowing us to win. We've gone ahead and brought in a Karthus just to tick Executioner for Akali. Our last stop is going to be one more Spellweaver. We grab the Giant Slayer, so Akali now has all 3 items. And even though Akali is only 1 star, she's still going to have a huge impact. The majority of our team is putting out AP. Akali is our AD damage. Notice Poppy is able to get into our backline and start wailing on Seraphines, but Akali keeps getting healed by Seraphine and ultimately has enough left to take on Poppy and finish off the match, putting us in a really good position. With our next item choice, we want to go ahead and beef up the front line a little bit so we can grab a Gargoyle Stone Plate for Nico so that she can be a little bit stronger up front. And again, it's the healing in here that is absolutely sinister. Keep your eye on Seraphines, because this team is the one that put up a real fight before and they've only gotten stronger. Now with Karthus adding a little extra damage, we're able to hold up, but ultimately it's Seraphine who keeps healing, allowing us to win. It is time for the final 2 item choices of the match, and we're going to go ahead and start with the Dragon's Claw, which will finish off Seraphine. We managed to pick up a Sona, so she can go in. We debate with going to healing, but attack speed at this point will be better. This brings us to the 5 Spellweavers. For our final item, we can go ahead and grab Thieves' Gloves and just put them on Sona, because in the hopes she might end up with a Rage Blade or something like that. But there is still one big weak spot on this team, and that is that our Akali is still only 1 star. So she is not strong enough if she runs into a strong enough opposition. In this case it was, and while they are going to fight it out until the very end, not quite enough healing to hold up, but it is enough to bring us into the top 4. Now I'm in a slight act of desperation here because I am not getting the additional Akali I need. I did manage to 2-star the Sona, but those aren't good items. Protector's Cowl's not a good item. I reforge it twice and end up with something that will not work on anyone. Well, it would have worked on Akali, but she doesn't have space for it anymore. So we just throw it onto Kennen just because and hope that this will keep us alive. At 4, anyone could die, so everyone is in danger of death here. We still don't have our 2-star Akali, but we do have a ton of healing, and when Sona kicks in the extra attack speed, you can see that Seraphine and Karthus are both able to stay alive. The amount of healing going out allows Karthus to cast again and again, and we end up in a similar situation with a tank against Seraphine, and while she doesn't put out that much damage, it's enough to secure the victory. We are down to the 1v1, and I was never able to find that 3rd Akali to turn her into a 2-star. So I am hoping that we can heal enough through this Executioner team to keep us alive. Luckily, executioners are a little bit of glass cannons, so as long as we can stay up long enough, we should be able to get ahead. You can see once that happens, Seraphine, the Seraphines, are going to take over, finish off Karthus, and it's GG for everyone. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you get Twin Terror, give Seraphine a shot. It's a lot of fun. And as always, have an absolutely awesome day.